Welcome to episode number 39 of the Olympian Project. Today, we're going to talk about what we think the CrossFit season format might look like after some comments by the new CEO of CrossFit, Eric Roza, and how to become a tiger. Do you have a roar?
Yeah.
Roll the intro. Okay. That was a really gnarly roar you had there this morning.
What's your roar sound like?
I am more like a donkey.
What does a donkey sound like? Hee-haw?
Yeah.
Hee-haw?
Yeah.
Hee-haw, do
But
it hee-haw.
you only can do it when you're in the moment, you know?
Do a
Like,
hee-haw.
you're out in the wild and you got some animals chasing you, then you start kicking. And
Maybe I can get a hee-haw out of you just randomly.
by the end of the day.
By the end of the day.
By the end of the
You're gonna
day,
hee-haw.
I just feel like I make a lot of jokes. So I feel like that'd be a donkey. Wasn't that the Shrek character? Wasn't he like the funny guy?
Donkey?
Is that his name?
That's his name, Donkey.
Okay, yeah, that would be me.
He's the dunce.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's me.
He's like a rejected fairy tale character.
Well, I don't know if I feel so much rejected. Speaking of animal characters, I'm going hunting this weekend. Looking to provide some meat. You ever been hunting, Garrett?
I've never been hunting.
No?
I've been hunting in video games.
What? Hunting in video games? You mean like you went after other players?
No.
Is there a game that you can hunt?
Yeah,
Like
Far Cry.
Far Cry, you would hunt animals.
Yeah, and Far Cry Primal.
That is not the same thing.
I mean, it's close.
I've been hunting before and have taken some animals and got some food from the animals, and it's actually on a serious note though. Hunting is a very for me it's a very spiritual event. There's a lot of adrenaline, unless you're like maybe a psychopath or you've done it a lot. But if you go and to kill a pretty big animal, you know, relative to your size, and it's an experience to hunt that animal and take its life. It's very much an adrenaline rush. And I don't mean in like a good, like it's a very kind of emotional, honestly.
That's exactly how. I don't know if you listen to Joe Rogan.
I'm glad you didn't
He's the
say
enemy.
Far Cry.
He's the enemy, but
Joe Rogan's the enemy.
he's always
because we're competing
enemy
with
number
him.
one. But he had Cam Hanes on his podcast, and he's a bow hunter. He hunts like big game elk.
Oh yeah.
He runs a marathon a day. Freaking awesome guy. But he it's the exact same thing as what you just said. That's what they say. Like it's like you're happy when you finally achieve that kill, but at the same time it's like once you walk up to the animal and it's there.
Well, yeah, 100%. And you know, a lot of the kills that I've had were pretty close range and like a tree stand and 20 yards, 25 yards. So, I mean, there's some action that happens after you pull the trigger, or I'm sure when you shoot the bow. But there is life and then there's no life. And it is it's a very appreciative moment. Like, I'm going to eat because of this animal. And I know a lot of people would argue, just go to the store, go to the grocery store, and you can get, you know, why got to kill something? But, I mean, obviously those animals were farmed and killed. So I don't want to get into that argument or debate. But if you're doing it yourself, I think there is a huge appreciation moment when you take an animal's life. And if you don't get that adrenaline, like I said, there's a lot of people who've been hunting since they were kids, and they've done it a lot, and I think they went through that, and they understand the whole process. I don't do it very often. So there's a lot of adrenaline. I mean, it's a shaky kind of adrenaline moment. A lot of adrenaline goes through there.
How often do you go hunting?
I actually haven't been hunting in almost like 10 years. So I did a little bit back then, quite often, but all I've ever killed are hogs. But I actually ate the hogs that we killed, and looking to kill a deer this weekend, my first deer. So pretty excited about that. and hopefully
Nice.
get
You gonna
some
bring
deer
me some
sausage.
jerky, bro?
Yeah, man, that's the game plan. I've already talked to JR about processing and everything. So,
Are you splitting it with anybody? Are you going with anybody and splitting it? Is that how
well,
that works? Or
yeah, no, I mean, you get a kill, you process it. I mean, obviously, I'll be handing some stuff out, I'm sure. But Tim, my father-in-law, is going, and hopefully he gets to see something and potentially kill something. So maybe we'll have 2 animals and a bunch of deer jerky and deer sausage and hopefully some backstrap and all that good stuff. So pretty excited
you
about
gonna eat that liver? You gonna
I
eat
am
that
excited,
ancestral, bro?
dude. We don't have the liver up here, do
You
we?
can get some. You can get all the stuff, bro. You can get tallow from
Well, that's
deer.
beef, so it's different. Deer is really, really lean. Okay, so that's all beef there, and actually you have to get tallow, beef tallow, or pork. You can use pork fat, but deer meat is so lean that you have to mix other fattier meats with it to actually. I mean, I think it's mostly
Make
a
it
preference
good.
thing. Yeah, right. Something good. But that's what I'm hoping is maybe kill a hog and a deer and be able to use some of that hog fat for the deer meat itself. So,
That's
but I
strategy.
am really looking to get the liver at least a minimum. I need to do a little more research on what the liver of, say, a hog or a deer, if it's still similar to a beef liver. But I'm pretty certain that their micronutrients are.
I'm sure it's the same, if not better, than raised
Potentially.
cattle.
Right.
Like wild
Right.
animals gonna be.
Yeah.
They eat better and stuff.
100%. It's kind of raised, or yeah, they're not produced in a farm, so that's cool. Yeah. All right. That was hunting. So
Why are we wearing glasses, by the way?
it's just shine bright like a diamond, kind of thing.
Our future's bright, so we can't see if we don't wear glasses.
Exactly. It's so bright, guys, here. The future is bright, though. I think that's a great segue to the next portion of this podcast. The future is bright for CrossFit, potentially, with the new owner, CEO, Eric Roza, and he was on Talking Elite Fitness. They dove into
The other enemy.
The other enemy. He dove into some of what CrossFit, the sport of CrossFit, all could be coming to. The uncertainty, though, is still there with COVID. And so I don't know if we got all the answers we were looking for, but we definitely have enough to, speculate as much as we want, and make up all the things that we want to talk about. Because, he definitely wants to make the sport of CrossFit a priority. And I'm really excited about that because I think it does drive the everyday person to CrossFit too. People watch basketball, football, baseball, all that stuff. They're the best of the best. It doesn't stop you from playing a little bit pickup basketball in your driveway. It doesn't stop you from throwing the football with your kid because you're not going to be a professional football player. But it does drive the youth, and it gives people something to talk about and stay engaged with the sport. So I think it's very important to keep the Matt Fraser's, Tias, and all the other athletes a household name. And so that CrossFit's a household name. I mean, so I'm excited about it for sure.
Yeah, we're going to give our thoughts and opinions on what we think the season could look like, what it could shape up to be. So, Eric Roza, now you're watching this, take notes.
Yes.
Because
I think
I'm
we're going to be on
serious.
some of the same thoughts, from what he's saying. Maybe he just hasn't said it publicly yet, and maybe we're just dreamers. But we'd also like to know what you, the viewer, think the season should look like. Whether it's you agree with us or not, I think this is a great time to start getting ideas out there. I'm sure Eric right now has got some time and is listening to a lot of different potential of what the games and CrossFit should look like. So starting off, we do know this. What we do know?
What we know.
What we know.
What I know.
You don't know much.
Well, I don't know much, but I know this. What it looks like to me is they're putting more of an emphasis on the open. And I speculated this pretty much, a week after the games was over. I was like, you know what? We haven't heard anything from any sanctionals. We haven't heard anything from Wadapalooza, Granite Games, these early sanctionals that take place, basically right after the season's over. We haven't heard anything from them. So what's that about? I think Wadapalooza and Granite Gate, they did something. They're doing some kind of online competition, or they did.
They did. It was more like a health initiative.
Yeah, something like that.
It wasn't for the qualifier or the sanctional, I should say.
Yeah, no actual Wadapalooza event has been announced. But about a week ago, they announced the Open. No. Actually, it was during the games they announced the Open.
Yeah.
They announced the date that the Open was going to start, and they've been posting more about it. And it feels like they're there's an emphasis on the open again. Like the open feels important again.
Yeah. If you haven't already listened to it, the interview on Talking Elite Fitness with Eric Roza, he said the goal is 500,000. I know in years past, before regionals were gone, they got really close. I want to say they were
It's like
cracking
350, right?
I thought they might have cracked 400, but they always talked about 500,000, and then that went down after regionals went away for sure. Now, what he did announce and what we do know is February 18th is the Open. Okay, so it's a little earlier than usual. I know this because I always host a competition in-house around Valentine's Day, which is the 14th, normally a little sooner than the 14th. And so that's never been that close, so I may have to make some changes there. But February 18th, and then we also know he said in the interview that, and this is kind of all he really knew about the season, is that they want to have the games, I want to say he said towards the end of July. So there's your window.
So before August?
I want to say, well, okay,
So
end of July, early
August.
August. Yeah, well, a little bit. He said end of summer, and July's kind of that midway. I was thinking, the way he kind of made it sound was like end of July, early August. Now, he also talked a lot about making sure there was a lot of different online things going on, and they were diving into like the L1 now has the online certification, which there is a distinction. There's an online L1, and then there's the in-class L1. They're two different things. But with the competitive side of CrossFit, that was kind of what we know, right? Going based off of that, we can speculate everything in the middle of that and go from there. So you talked about the Open being like one of the number one things to push the start of the season. How do you see? What do you see? What do you think?
I think that, and I think it's a good thing because, think about, so don't even think about the top 10, top 15 at the games. They kind of know they're going to make it, however they end up making it, whether it's through the Open, through sanctionals. But for those athletes who are just outside the top 50 or the top 40, they have no idea how they're going to be able to make it. So...
Well, what do you mean? This year
They could end up having to go to 4 or 5 sanctionals,
right.
spending a ton of money just to make it to the games because they think they can. And they may end up doing 4 or 5 sanctionals and then take second in the last one against someone who hasn't qualified.
Sure.
Like, it could screw a lot of people. So I think, I liked the new structure of being able to go and choose your season and what your season looks like as an athlete for the top people. But for people who are who are trying to make the games for the first time, they don't know how to do it. And there's no real clear answer. You're not going to go at the beginning of the season. You're not going to go to any of the early sanctionals because those spots are going to get taken by the top.
Not if they qualify through the Open.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about last year or the year before that. Like when Wadapalooza and Granite Games was before the Open.
But Matt Frazier never took a spot from any of those events. He won them, but his spot came through the Open. So the next person up took the.
How do you figure?
He doesn't. They still fill a spot.
If Wadapalooza was before the Open.
Oh, fair, yeah, right. But
yeah.
that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's why I'm saying.
This is okay. Be better, so Wadapalooza was the only one that was before the Open.
I think Granite Games too, right?
Well, we only had 1 year where they actually moved the Open to October. So
that's true.
I don't know, really. Honestly, I don't know how it laid out. So I will say it was very confusing when they moved it to October. If they would have kept it in February and just moved Wadapalooza a little bit, it would have been fine, right? We need the Open to start the season, I think. Do we agree on that?
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So you give the world something to really go after. And then you get your top 20 athletes. Maybe they change the numbers some. I don't know. But you get those top 20 for sure. And that then opens up the season of these sanctional events, right? Something else that Eric Roza talked about was making more sanctioned events that are these big competitions, right? So I use TFX, for example. It's not a sanctional to go to the games. And this one popped in my head because I think, because it is a really big competition here in the South, that is maybe something he was kind of talking about. I'm sure there's other ones around the country like this one. But the point is, I think Colorado had a big one too. I forget the name of it. But the point is, they want to go in and still be a sanctioned event by CrossFit, not a sanctional to the CrossFit Games, but a sanctioned, sponsored event by CrossFit, so that you're getting the same judging, you're getting the same media teams out there. So I kind of took what he said and interpreted it to be like TFX may start being a CrossFit sanctioned event. And he also talked about getting more cash prizes in there, really developing an income for some of these better CrossFitters to make a living and make some sort of money. Now, that doesn't mean TFX might be a stepping stone to the CrossFit Games, but it may be a CrossFit event moving forward at some point, which may open up to a sanctional. And he talked about being about 29. They're looking for about 29 to 30 CrossFit sanctioned events by the next season. Is kind of what he was talking about.
And every one of those, the first place winner gets a spot to the games?
Well, I just said no.
Oh.
I just said that TFX, for example, will be a CrossFit sanctioned event, a sponsored event. Doesn't mean it's a stepping stone to the games. Not all of them are stepping stones to the games. There will be sanctionals that get you to the games. I'm sure they're going to have to change the names of these things or something like that. But they want to go out to some of these big competitions that aren't necessarily game stepping stones, but still bring in the same media teams for them, bring in the same judging, the same support that the other sanctionals give. And like I said, will they eventually turn that way? Potentially. But TFX, I think, is a great example because it is a really big competition, and they get CrossFit level athletes there. Games level athletes there. So I feel like that's one of the competitions he's probably talking about. It's not a sanctioned event by CrossFit by any means. But could they come in there and make it and then bring in their media team and then give them support through judging and online and all that stuff? And that's kind of what he was talking about. So, to get a little off track, but back on, the Open should start it, and then we should see a list, a dates of all the sanctional events that people can go and try to qualify for, right? And if you qualified through the Open, right, you can go compete and win the money. Why wouldn't Matt Frazier go to some of these competitions and enjoy the experience and compete for $10,000, $50,000, right? But that second place person is going to be the one that pulls the
the first place person who hasn't qualified yet.
Well, that's what I mean. If Matt Frazier won,
honestly, I can't imagine a system that's going to be better than regionals. Honestly, I just regionals is just it was perfect. And it may not be.
It's not perfect.
We
could fire holes into that, but go ahead.
It may not have been perfect from a business standpoint, but in my opinion, that was the best way to make sure that the people at the games deserve to be there. And because it was the easiest way. It's the easiest way.
Is the easiest way, though, the best way always?
Yeah. Because then
doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does. Because you want to claim that the people at the games are the fittest on earth, make it the easiest way to get there. From a financial standpoint, from planning out and scheduling and stuff, sanctionals make it harder for people who are trying to make it to the games who've never done it before, for rookies to get there.
I disagree with that.
Why?
Well, it opens up more opportunity with sanctionals. There's no regional restriction. All you're saying is, okay, this is the only thing that changes here. Let's take these sanctionals. And Granite Games is where? It's in Minnesota, right?
I don't know.
It's in Minnesota. So Granite Games are in Minnesota. All right, if we want to go back to your format, this would solve it. Everyone in this region of Minnesota can only go to the Granite Games, and there's your regional. But you can only go to that one if you live in that area. Those area codes of Minnesota, Michigan, Dakotas, Illinois, that area, those states that surround it. That was the regionals, okay? So now you're telling me through the Open, you didn't make the top 20, but in your region of that area, you were top, what do they usually take? I don't remember, 40. Now you can only go to the Granite Games. Your season is over if you don't win the Granite Games. Now, back in the day, regionals took the top 5. So let's go back to that. Go to the Granite Games. If you're not the top 5 at the Granite Games, your season's over. You can't go to Wadapalooza. You can't go to TFX. You can't go to Dubai. Those European contests either. You're saying that's the better situation?
Yes, because you can set up in terms of training, if you want to be the best, you got to train right.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Frazier can basically just train for the games because he knows he's going to make it through the Open.
Mm-hmm.
He can set up an entire 12-month training cycle from the day the games ends to the day the game starts, basically.
So can the other 19 that make it through the Open, though, correct?
But they probably what?
The other 19, right?
Yeah. Okay, you're talking about the top
20.
0.1%.
Mm-hmm. Which is who's going to win the games
But
anyway.
if you're talking about a person who's trying to make it to the games for the first time, they need to train specifically for those qualifying events.
Mm-hmm.
They need to set up a training cycle that ends to where they're peaked for those qualifying events. They make it to the first one. Say their first one they're going to go to is Wadapalooza.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make it.
Right.
Now they got to pick another one to go to, set up a whole new training cycle for that, which is probably not going to be long enough, probably going to be 2-3 months. And if they don't make it they got to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And say they finally make it. By the time they do finally make it, they've gone through like 3-4 mini cycles, while Matt Frazier's gone through a 12-month cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a rich get richer situation.
Yes, I kind of get what you're saying, but obviously that athlete is not as good, and we're here to find the
they
the
could
best
be
of the
good.
world.
What if
they weren't.
Could do a 12-month cycle or a cycle?
But didn't you got them perform? Everybody's gonna get ready for the Open, right? And then do you not argue then Matt
Frazier's
Frazier
not gonna get ready for the Open?
Okay,
he just does the Open and wins.
Well, that's okay, but
he
you're
does
just
it
saying,
in the middle
you're
of his
just
cycle
saying
and
random
wins it.
stuff
No,
now.
I'm not.
Matt Frazier trains for the Open. He wants to be in the top 20 so that he can do what you just said. So you obviously train for that. The other thing is your argument. He doesn't train for the Open.
No, not specifically. No,
Okay.
He doesn't end a training cycle before the Open.
I'm not.
He does the Open in the middle of his training cycle and wins it because he is at that.
So
level.
what are we saying? We still got the most fittest man on earth and women on earth.
I'm talking about it being more difficult for people who are trying to qualify for up and comers.
So we want to just put out a red carpet. Here's my argument: is that you're saying that all the argument for these new guys and up and comers, and that's the only thing you want is the poor to eat. So we need to take away from the rich, right?
No.
Okay. So, but Matt Frazier and those 5 people, they have competed more recently, and the Open's going to come around. They're going to have less time to get ready for the Open. Is that not a negative effect for them? It's the same argument, just on the backside.
Wait, what? Say that again.
5 athletes were at the games, correct?
Okay.
They just finished that. No one else was competing, doing anything. Even stage 1ers were done weeks before that, okay? The Open is going to come around on a timeline. They were the last ones that had to do something really difficult. They're not going to have as much time to get ready for the Open for the next season. Is that not a disadvantage?
I mean,
it's the same argument on the other side of your argument.
Yeah, I mean, I see that.
So, but here's the thing. You're a rookie. You're up and coming. You got to do what you got to do. You know, these athletes that go play pro football, they don't get red carpets just because they're young and never made it. They have to earn their way. You know, I'm not saying necessarily sanctionals. I do like the sanctionals idea because it gives more opportunity. That young gun, I get what you're saying. There's structure. There's more structure to it for that one athlete, but he's got one chance. He gets to train for that one chance, and if that's it, that's it. Now, what they should be is adaptive. They should start learning. Look, they're not going to go to everyone. And honestly, Wadapalooza, if I know who's going and stuff like that, I'm probably taking that off my radar. And I need to put this one, and this one on my training schedule. If I don't make it through those 3, I'm not going to any other qualifiers. Any other sanctionals. You know, you can't hit every one of them, like you just said. And I do agree with you on that. That's going to be the difficult part. But what in CrossFit is to do the easiest thing, the easiest route. It is to have to grind through to become the fittest on earth. So, yeah, maybe Matt Frazier doesn't train for the Open. He's just that good. Well, yeah, I agree. He just is that good. But other people should be training their butts off if they have a chance at all to qualify in that top 20. And if they don't, then their schedule's made. They know which ones they got to go to and which ones they don't. And that's their coaches. That's all skill plan based. Like, who's smarter? Who's doing the right ones? Who's training for the right ones? I think that's all strategy. If you watch and travel other sports or track other sports, golf is a great one. You don't hit every tournament. You just can't.
Now, I mean, you kind of changed my mind in a little bit, but in the opposite direction. I think the whole system needs to be reworked. Now that I think about it, I think it should be a 3-month season. Month 1 is the Open. Month 2 is the regionals / second stage or whatever you want to call it, and then you got the games a month later.
Well, okay, now let's go back to money. Where and what sport is only 3 months long?
Well,
and make them any money, But why that? Why 3 months?
I don't know, because then the athletes, if you're talking about, legitimizing it as a sport, the athletes have 9 months to train off season.
Mm-hmm.
They have a training season.
But some athletes
has
will have
the same training season.
No, some athletes will have 10.
Well, yeah, they need it.
Or they'll have 11.
Well, they need it. Clearly.
Exactly my point. If if you're not good enough to make the top 20 in the Open, now you got to go hunt it down during the sanctionals. The thing is, they want more sanctionals. They want more events. It's a sport, and all these sports want more events. How do you make money? You get it through events. I wasn't necessarily trying to attack it the financial way, but that's a part of it. How do athletes get paid? People watch it. You got to have more events for more money flow, more advertisement. Matt Fraser's going to make more money. So is the 45th ranked athlete if there's more money to be spread around. That's why they're working on a players union. So, and look, CrossFit's a different sport nonetheless, but you can kind of look at other sports that are similar to it. Would MMA say 6 months out of the year we're having no events because that's the training season for those athletes?
No, it's completely different.
Exactly.
No, it's completely different.
I agree. But that wouldn't work. It wouldn't work financially for that company to survive. It is completely different, but it's a physical, demanding sport. And you're saying, don't perform for 6 months out of the year so everybody gets a fair shot, and now we start booking shows.
No. They go into training camps when they get a fight contract.
Right.
They get a fight contract, and then
How's that different
they train
than
for 6 months.
How's that different than sanctionals?
Because you don't know if you got to go to 2 sanctionals or 14
That's
sanctionals.
Fair. You will know. It's the same thing, though, if you're trying to fight for a belt. Win or lose. You win, you've got more control. You lose, you got to go find another fight in a couple weeks. Months, probably. But there's been fighters that will bust fights out because that's a way to make a living. And if there's no shows going on 6 months out of the year and you got 6 months to try to book it, that's going to be really challenging for anybody to make a living out of that. And, I get what you're saying, but that's very similar. MMA is very similar, because CrossFit will beat the F out of you during these competitions. Not quite like that. But, yes, the unknown is a part of it. It's literally in the definition of CrossFit. So you train really hard for that one main sanctional, but at least you got other opportunities past that. And if you don't make it, maybe you're not supposed to at this point. Maybe there's holes in your game. If you didn't get a title contending fight because you lost your last one, well, that makes sense. Now you're going to have to go find another fight to get back up into contention. So I disagree with we need to have a 3 month for sure. Even a 5 or 6 month would be, they need to have these events throughout the year. And look at golf. Like I said, golf allows you, not everyone's golf in every tournament. Now, this has nothing to do with the physical demanding part of it. But not everyone's golf in every tournament. You're picking the ones that you're going to train for, and you're going to give it your best shot. And if you decide wrong, if you pick wrong, that's part of the strategy. Which competitions are going to be best suited for you? That's part of your coach and management. So, look, I loved regionals, man. I did. I loved regionals. And I am trying to find what is good about sanctionals, and I think there are some of those positive things that could be used in sanctionals that I just noted there. So,
I guess there's pros and cons. The athletes that are gonna make it are gonna make it, I guess. But I don't know. I think if there's one thing that needs to change beyond anything else is the watchability of the sanctionals.
Sure.
Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Because Whatappalooza costs $40 to watch on Flow Elite.
Right.
Screw that. That's so beyond stupid. They need to fix that before anything else. All the CrossFit sanctionals need to be controlled by the CrossFit media team, and they need to host it. They need to live stream it. That's how it has to be if you want people to watch the sport and follow the sport legitimately and grow the sport.
100%.
That's the first thing that needs to change. Beyond anything else, whether it's regionals, sanctionals, whatever, CrossFit needs to control the media. They need to control where it's being broadcasted and if it's paid for or not. And if it's paid for, it better not cost more than the CrossFit Games. And the CrossFit Games is free.
Right.
So
no, I agree. I mean, first of all, let's see. That was when CrossFit was like, you're a sanctional, but do your thing. Greg Glassman got rid of the media team, and that's coming back to a certain extent. They want to have that. And see, if you're a bigger company and you have the capability, you don't want to charge people to watch. You want to charge companies to advertise to all the people that get to watch for free. This small company, Flow Elite, just saw an opportunity. There was nobody else there, and they were like, screw it, we're just going to take the money. They honestly shot themselves in the foot. That's why video games now are free, because it's a platform of eyes that can sell to companies for advertisement. Flow Elite just tried to get quick money, basically, and they did it wrong. Video games, anything on YouTube, stuff like that, pretty much are free. And if they pay for it, it's a minimum of like $4.99. I mean, Hulu, Netflix, all these places, if you're paying $9 a month and then Flow Elite wants to charge you $40 for one event, something's wrong there, and it's not going to happen again. There's no way that can happen again. And if CrossFit's actually going to come in and say, this is our event, they're going to come in with their media. They're going to have some way to do that. And Wodapalooza just didn't have the capabilities without the support. So I agree with that 100%, especially if we're talking about growing the sport. You got to have ways for people to see it more. Mm-hmm. You gotta be out there in the open. So whether it's sanctionals, whether it's regionals, I think the biggest thing is CrossFit is going to support it. CrossFit is going to build it, and they're going to have a emphasis on it. Whereas the 1 year, we'll say 2 crazy years, Greg Glassman destroying it, and then the pandemic, there was no support for the sport. It's like, let's just get it over with and then get back to training or something like that. So it's definitely speculative. You've got your opinions, I got mine. I think no matter what, the product's going to be better somehow, some way. So
I am curious to see what they do with the open, how the format changes at all. If they're going to do something to encourage nobodies, we'll put it nicely, nobodies, people like you and me, to give them a reason to participate.
Right.
I'm curious to see how they do that. I feel like something like that's coming. Just because they're pushing it so hard this year. Like, when have they pushed the open this early?
And he even said that. So in the interview, to backdoor that a little bit, first of all, he talked about, like, for the Masters side of things, in the teens, like, if you weren't top 200, your route was done. So, and I don't think he was just referring to Masters and teens, but he's like, we want more stages through the open. Like, you can earn more things through the open, is kind of how he made it sound. And so I think he wants to build off that. And he also talked about not necessarily getting rid of the super teams, but rewarding the affiliate cup, the boxes to create teams and develop athletes within their box instead of just building super teams. He's like, I don't want to get rid of super teams. They have their place, but I also want to encourage the boxes to come together. And I will say that was a huge thing for me, even though we weren't close to ever making regionals as a box. You know, when we first started as a gym, we were 220th, and then we were 200, and then it was like 180, and I think we got as low as like 110 or something like that. And then there was no regionals. There was no way to track it anymore, and it went down from 6 to 4, and we just kind of lost. There was no incentive anymore. Like, instead of sign up for the open, why not sign up through the gym and have a competition or something like that? So they do need to come back with that. And I do like 6 better than 4, even if it's just for the open sake. So you get more people involved. Hell, move it to 8, move it to 10. Take your 10 top best scores, 5 and 5 or 4 and 4, and really let people participate in the open to give them something to fight for and have pride. Look at where my box stands compared to yours,
Yeah, in terms of the games, I like 4-person teams better than 6-person teams. 6-person teams is stupid to me.
No, I get that for sure. Yeah. Programming and everything.
Yeah.
6 wasn't terrible, but you definitely can't go more, and 4 is good. 4 is good.
4 is good. But no, I do like the idea of like the affiliate cup. Your box gets a ranking based on your top 3 females.
And maybe it's just online.
Males.
Maybe it's just an online affiliate cup.
I agree with that. I remember looking at that when I first joined CrossFit and looking at where our gym was in the open. And,
right.
I thought it was cool. So I don't really have any experience with it, but I thought that was cool. So.
No, what if you just make the affiliate cup when it's just your affiliated members, and move it up to like 8 scores each week, to where there's a lot more participation. Your top 4 guys, top 4 girls, and actually have a second stage online, all online, for those affiliate cups.
Or even in
not the games.
Or even in person. Make it like a regional affiliate cup. That'd be pretty cool.
Now, okay, so you got to. The only way I think you do that is you got to work with these sanctioned events, right? Like TFX, and like TFX has to acknowledge the Open and take those teams into a division, right? I think at first start to see what kind of participation there is. I like what you're saying, but even they did this with like, oh man, what was it? They had the team. They had there was an event like in September or something like that every year, which was like a team thing. I can't remember.
Liftoff?
Not the liftoff. It was something else too.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It was like a team thing. I don't
know what
remember.
you're talking about.
Yeah. So almost make that the next level. Just another qualifier online. You got to record your videos and stuff like that. And let's say you take your top 4 athletes. If you make it to the games, well, you can't make teams through the games.
The team series.
The team series. Let's bring back the team series. You qualify for the team series through the Open, right? And it's like 6 months later or 5 months later or whatever. You train for it as a team. Dude, how much... I'm going to tell you right now, the camaraderie, and you can make it pretty big, too. Like, why be too exclusive? Like, you can make it, it's online. You can make it regional. Like you said, the southern part of the United States, there's the east, the west, the north, and the south. And you could take 50 teams for each region and have look, they're going to make some extra money off of it. But I'm telling you, I would push the heck out of that in here. And if you took 50 teams out of the South, we might actually have a chance.
Like, how cool would it be for, like, a Texas affiliate cup, the CrossFit Texas affiliate cup, and then every affiliate that's based in Texas...
Every state gets one.
Yeah.
And you might have to combine some states.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Well...
That'd be awesome.
You know, the pride would be really high into CrossFit and bring that back to CrossFit. How many people wanted to drop their affiliates this year, and even in the years past when Greg Glassman was moving away from all that stuff? The Open was good. It was, I wouldn't say dead in the water, but man, we used to have 50 plus, 60 plus signups, and we were down to like 20 something. Mm-hmm. The incentive just wasn't there anymore. So I'd love to see that come back, man. You know, Open time is stressful, but a very fun time for sure. So, well, we did fix the world's problems in CrossFit at least today.
Eric Roza, contact us. We'll be
we'll love to talk to you.
We'll have our phones on standby for when you want to call us and bring us on the team.
Yeah, bring us on the team for this. We got a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we got to always put our product out there. I don't know if this is good or bad for them.
I'm taking these glasses off for this. This is serious.
It's been bad for the products the last couple weeks, right?
No. What? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the quality of the products. Well, I don't think it's going to change today. So let's not get our hopes too high.
You don't think this is going to be the one to fix it all? This may not be it. All right, so we've got TigerShape-shop.com. You found this product.
Well, as a company, I found one of their products.
Okay, start that one over.
It's a company that makes fitness products, but I saw one of their products specifically. I don't know what else they got.
They got some stuff. Let's see here now.
Oh, well, this is the one. So this is the product I saw here, the Abs Tiger Pulse Black.
What?
I don't know why.
The Tiger.
Abs
Tiger
color.
Pulse Black. Yeah.
The Abs Tiger Pulse. So it's a stim machine. It's in the shape of abs.
Oh right.
Well, it's in the shape of abs plus a mustache on the top. What is that? Like?
That's the mustache abs.
Yeah, the mustache abs, and
booty.
I guess.
Is this? You sit on this? Wow, they've got that looks like a vibrating stimulator.
So you strap the Abs Tiger Pulse to your abs, and it shakes your abs.
Well, it contracts your muscles. It's a stim machine.
Yes.
But look at
that guy
people.
has boobs.
He has boobs, but his pants are undone. What did he do with this girl? That's awkward right now. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. So
she's just in the kitchen cutting some mangoes or whatever that is. Oranges.
Maybe, yeah.
I've never seen anyone cut oranges like that.
That's legit, though. That's a legit way to cut an orange. I think
What
that's the
is
most I'm
that,
going to
dude?
learn on this website is how to cut an orange.
And she's got her
Well,
tiger pulse
let me start off by saying this. Let me ask this question. There's a million of these out. Why is Tiger, what do they call it? Tiger Pulse different than anyone else?
Because it's got a cooler name, first off.
I mean,
but
essentially, is that what it is? Is this the 175th company to make a pulse?
What's the arms? Where do you put
You
the
put
arms?
on your arms.
Where?
Let's take a look. It's only $40. Maybe
it's on sale right now because it's Black
yeah.
November.
Oh, wow. So the price, if you are into stimulation, the price might be right for this product right now. I mean, that's not terrible. $40. Would I not try that for $40 if it gave me abs? I mean, people spend more on other stuff for sure.
What do you like? I don't. Do people?
No more sweat is one of their mottos.
Yes. I never want to sweat again.
Just relax and let it work.
This is
Using
what I
Tiger
don't-
Pulse 20 minutes a day equals 2 hours of intense cardio.
Oh wow, that's
Scientifically,
sad.
I love this. Scientifically approved, and they just have a picture of a doctor. Doctor recommended. We don't know which doctors.
It's not a real. It's an
I was gonna
actor.
say that's definitely not a
It's
doctor.
an actor. But this is what I don't understand, right? Like,
80,000.
Apparently, 80,000 customers worldwide. Do people not understand like basic? What's like really common sense? What do you like? Do you think this thing is actually going to burn fat? Is there? First off,
Well,
let's talk
it's
about
not
it.
saying burning
Is there?
fat.
Yeah, dude.
Where?
What are you talking about? That's the whole selling point. Scroll
No,
up.
no.
Yes, dude. Burns fat and
Oh.
sculpt your body.
I didn't see that part. Well,
Like,
I mean,
do you
you're
not-
contracting muscles like you would in a workout, right? I mean, that's the concept. It's contracting. Your muscles are doing this, just like if you were doing a workout. So it's simulating.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it is.
Yes and no.
There's
I don't think
this
it's
thing
the
has been
same
around.
thing. I don't think it's the same thing.
You don't think that stimulates the muscles?
I don't think scientifically actually using your muscle and electrically stimulating your muscles is the same thing. I could be completely wrong, but that doesn't seem
No, I mean,
like the same thing to
You
me.
are. They're sending. So it's sending electrical waves through the muscle to contract. So the muscle's moving. It's contracting. I'm not saying it's contracting the same range of motion, right? It is very isolated. But it's like if you sat here and did a crunch over and over and over again, but you don't have to do it yourself. You have the stimulation of this machine or whatever do it for you. So there's no doubt that you're going to move your muscles over and over and over again, and you don't actually have to do it. But
Okay.
there's
well,
limitations there.
Tell me how your Tiger Pulse is when you get it, because you sound sold.
Oh no,
Um,
I'm just saying, like, I've never done it. I don't know anybody that's been
Well,
successful at it.
Okay, here's
There's
my,
no range
here's
of
my
motion.
thing. There's like when you contract your muscles, there's like all kinds of chemical reactions that happen in your body for that to happen. Like, is that the same thing? Does that happen when freaking it shocks your muscles?
Imagine if I was going to, I look like 100%. I was going to throw a punch right at your stomach, and you went like this. You knee-jerk reaction kind of contracted your muscles. It's the same concept.
Fault, I guess.
No doubt is okay. To me, it's at best for someone that is doing nothing.
Nope.
It is going to contract your muscles. Okay, it is going to do
else
that.
contracts your muscles? Standing up.
Well, okay, and so, but a lot of people in the recovery industry use stimulation because you'll get scar tissue in a certain spot. So, like, that's just like those little things that I had with the pads, and you put on your leg or whatever, and it stimulates over and over again. And so, what you're doing is a lot of times to get rid of like scar tissue. It's another way of like rolling and stuff like that. So, to say it won't do anything, no, it'll do something. And for $40, I think this is actually, I would never use this thing.
You sound like you're about to say, you know what? This is a...
No.
I'm placing my order now.
No. I would never use this thing. But if somebody wanted to waste their money, they're only wasting $40. And it might be, if somebody uses this every day.
They're wasting $40 for the next three hours, and then it goes back up to $80.
Oh, well, yeah, but Yeah, I mean, it'll be the same price probably all month or whatever. These things have been around for a long time. Okay, I'm not sure about the booty Tiger Pulse. This is different because I guess it's contracting your glutes, and you put it on your butt.
That's funny. Do you sit on it or do you actually put it on?
Oh, it's not going to give me. I mean, that would be kind of important for the website to break that down. I think it's not. Oh, these are pictures. These are people that sent in their. Somebody hopefully sent in their butt picture of their.
Dude,
use.
if I saw someone wear this, I would make fun of them so hard.
Sure.
That's so stupid. It's stupid looking, dude.
Yeah. Doesn't win the Gary approval of look.
You look like a robot.
Well, do they sell other things is the other question here. I don't think they did.
What's the TigerShape Spirit? What's that?
TigerShape Spirit.
Oh, dude,
So this is how it goes on the arms. This is like a motto, their mantra maybe, a part of the website.
Okay, let's read it.
So why are they all working out if this is so you don't have to work out? Like they look like they're dressed up to work out.
That's even funnier, dude. Like you dress up to work. Like you get your gym clothes on, you put your Lululemons on. You're like, you get sweatbands on, you put your headband on. You're like, I'm ready to work out. Then you strap on the Tiger, what's it called? The TigerShape, and you sit there.
Yeah,
that's hilarious, dude. That's something in like that would happen in a sitcom, dude.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is that? The EMS gel patches.
Well, I'm assuming if you're dying, like if say they shocked you too much, you've got to put those on. No, I'm kidding, but
that's probably what it is. Like scroll up, read it.
Well, I thought they would have actual more information.
It says the gel patches are specifically designed for unlimited and efficient use of your TigerShape EMS equipment. Are they? Oh, are they just?
The gel patches. So eventually, it's a sticky part of the product. Okay. So when they go out, you got to replace them. $15 for 5. Expensive. I don't know. Let's change the system up. Give it a ranking of 1 to 10, so that we've got some range here.
Scroll up. 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I don't like 1 to 10. What about like
1 to 5? Then.
What about 1 to 100%?
So we'll give it a percentage ranking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What percentage ranking are you giving this?
13.
13%.
Yeah.
Give me a reference point though. Last week was what?
Agogi's like 75.
Okay, that's the top end. Is that your top end
so far?
So far, 75 is your top end.
That we've seen.
Yeah.
Say
right.
100% is like a barbell. 100% is a barbell.
So the axle, whatever.
No. That's like.
What did you give the axle workout? The axle barbell with the bike tires.
I don't know. Probably like 25.
Okay. Last week was what? Monkey?
The
ball with the weight in it? What was that?
Yeah. I don't barely remember that thing, dude.
Remember they attached it to bands and stuff?
That was like the most forgettable piece of equipment ever.
So what would you give that? I want to know. Compared to this.
Chop fit's like 150%. So.
Oh Jesus! What about Thor's hammer? The Thor kettlebell thing.
I mean that's a solid.
Maybe like 50%. It was useful at least.
That's a solid.
Yeah.
That's solid.
So you're at 13% on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say we're at 25 and under. The reason why it's 25% for me at least is it's not expensive. There's nothing expensive about it. So, but there's hundreds of these out there. So I'm curious. They didn't really tell me what was different about their product, and I think it is what it is. There's nothing different about it. It's just a different branding. So I don't know how much these things go for much, but we saw Chop Fit was $110. I would not part $110 for Chop Fit. If I literally couldn't do something, maybe I'd part with $40 for this thing.
You seem so distraught about it.
Well, and I guess these are the cheap prices, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of the product. I'm a fan of stimulation for like recovery, but this is targeting like fitness, and maybe it works for some people.
Burn fat. Sit there, be lazy.
Yeah, and look, we come from CrossFit background, so functionality is a huge part of anything that I do, and this has zero functionality.
That's not even that, dude. It's just stupid.
Well, I don't think anything's just stupid. This thing's been around for decades, so obviously it's not
stupid. People keep buying it.
Okay, there are some, but it's not, hey, if I created that and I'm still running a business off of it, it's not stupid, man.
Fair enough, I guess.
Maybe
fair enough. Hey, no. This is just a guy benefiting off stupid people, and you know what? There's plenty of people that do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. If there's stupid people willing to buy your stupid product, you win. You won. So, I mean,
Joe Rogan uses one of these.
No, he doesn't.
I don't know. What if he did? Would it still be stupid?
Yes. Oh, Joe Rogan's not closed to criticism. He's our enemy.
Oh man, another product just under 25% for sure. So, not we haven't found that one product. Agogi is definitely up there, but that's at 75%. So we have not found the ultimate product just yet. Through online advertisement.
That's his ultimate products don't exist like this.
Right. They don't find you through Instagram sponsor ads. Yeah. That's going to do it for the day, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel if you want to stay up to date with all the podcasts that we do. We've got other videos on the channel as well. And let us know. Let us know. Comment below if you have an opinion on maybe you've used TigerShape or how you think the CrossFit Games season should look like. Let us know. For the Olympian Project, I'm Justin Ellis, and this is my cohort,
Garrett Wiley.
And we are out for the day.